one. You are live, Robert.
Good morning. Robert Troch from Brooklyn. It's 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Younger than last year. Here we are again. I love summertime. I go out to the park a lot. It's a beautiful day today. And in 5 days, I'm heading to Japan, as I said last week. And we were going to get back onto track for me to show you, this is my ego talking, you get to follow me throughout my Saturday, what I do. But because of schedule, and I'm leaving in 5 days, we're going to move what I do in the afternoon to the morning. So normally I wouldn't be doing this at 7 a.m. in the morning. I like to do my main workout later in the day. I feel stronger. There's a lot of research about circadian rhythms and what you do and why you're stronger at different parts of the day. And we're going to do this. I'm going to show you what I've been using for the past 3 months. My good old trusty kettlebell. What is a kettlebell? Well, it's an old time weight is what it is. This particular one is 16 kilograms, which is how much? Convert your metrics. 35 pounds. And these go way back. They started getting popular in the US about 2001. I think it was Steve Maxwell was the first guy in the US to bring these to us, so thank you for that, Steve. And I like to use these during summertime just because it changes things up and I can work things differently. I can learn to move my body while I have a weight with me, maybe in one hand, maybe in two hands. And why do I like a kettlebell? I like it first of all because they're versatile. For instance, I can throw it in a trunk, I can take it anywhere I go. I've been in motel parking lots a few times using these things during the summer if I travel sometime. I also like it because I've had a shoulder problem for years over here in this left shoulder. So sometimes when I use the kettlebell, it really helps, mainly because of how I hold it. You notice how it's behind your hand. So a lot of times it will pull your shoulder into a healthy position, lock it in, and this left shoulder, after 3 months of this, is feeling a little looser, feeling better, very happy with the results. I'm gonna use this for another month into August, then I'm gonna switch back to body weight exercise. Let's go over to the spot, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. And when I'm done with 3 or 4 months with kettlebell exercises, I'm always curious to see how that's affected my reflexive stability strength as I go back to body weight exercise. Watch out for that branch, Jonas, don't trip over it.
Thanks.
It's, by the way, Jonas does a good job. He has to follow me and shoot at the same time, so he can't even see where he's going. I gotta be his eyes. So, reflexive stability, yeah, it sounds like a fancy term. Basically what that is, it's a reflex that your body has automatically to anticipate a movement before it happens, using the right muscles at the right time with the right amount of force to them. It would be, for instance, let's say you're walking on ice. You slip on the ice and your body has the automatic reflex, because you don't have time to think about it, of what to do. And if it's not working so well, you might pull your groin, let's say, or you're lifting your kids up and you hurt your back. These are all automatic reflexes that, as I say, if we sit a lot, if you're not exercising, if you're breathing, using your diaphragm sucks, if all that's not in place, it takes it from what a possible 100 could be down to maybe a 30 or a 20, who knows? It's anywhere along the scale. So I like to revisit and rebuild that kind of strength. This looks like a good spot.
That's good.
Always have your water. So I like to rebuild that strength. I can do it without a kettlebell, sure, but it's fun. Like I say, I like manipulating the weight, and here's the key with any kind of tool like this. It's not the tool that does the job. It's how you move with the tool. That's a big key to being younger than you were last year, if you can keep that in mind. It also can work my flexibility, strength, heart and lungs, endurance, all at the same time, depending on what I'm doing. I'm in a bit more of an endurance phase for these 4 weeks. This is the last one of my 3rd month. Next month will be more strength. I'll be using heavier ones when I get back from Japan. So I'm going to do a warm-up here. Very important to do a warm-up, especially in the morning. Get your body prepared for this. And this kind of warm-up, you'll see, is kind of geared towards the workout I'm going to do, as you'll see. It builds the 4 corners of reflexive strength, another fancy term. Basically, upper left, upper right, lower left. Think of your body as a big X, right, going around you. Think of those old movies with Mexican banditos, for instance, wearing the ammo belts across them, or Clint Eastwood when he wore that serape in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly over that blanket type thing. Think of it like a big corset all the way around you. And right turn talks to left, left turns to right. That's why you see me doing a lot of those crawling exercises and all that stuff. Oh, make sure you take off your watch, by the way, when you're going to use a kettlebell. When the bell swings back there, that's it for the watch. Ask me how I know that one. Here we go. So warm up. We start with really basic stuff. Remember, this is original reflexive strength. So we go back to basic stuff to warm up with. We're just going to lift the head. Warm-up doesn't have to be extremely difficult, but it does get movement going, get your brain to talk to your muscles. It gets some reflexes going. Remember, reflexive stability. Then you can turn your head while you're on the ground. Just leave your head on the ground and turn it. And by the way, this routine is something you could do every day. If you're pretty stiff, do it in the morning. It takes about, when you get it down, 10 minutes. It's actually a pretty good routine on its own, just to get you moving. I'm going to reduce the reps. I'll just go till it feels good. Usually 7 to 10, although in the morning it might take a little more stiff in the morning. Then, just like when you were a baby, we're going to roll around a little bit. Notice I'm not pushing with my legs or arms too much. I'm just rolling. Just using my arms. Actually feels pretty good. Same thing here. Reach with your arm, turn your head, and let the weight of your arm pull you over. You can also use your legs. Keep your upper body paralyzed, not moving, and just use your legs to pull you across. Right. There's a few more. I could do a few more, but like I said, I want to get to the actual workout part. Now we're going to work your breathing. Diaphragm muscle. Let your thighs be your coach. I'm going to sit back, let my belly sit on my thighs. I'm going to breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth. When I breathe in, I should feel my belly push into my thighs. When I breathe out, it should move away. So you won't be able to see this really. One more time. Okay. Next is basically the old yoga cat stretch. Big exhale, round my back. Big inhale, arch my back. Back and forth. Feels great on your back. Again, if you do this first thing in the morning, go into it easy. The first half hour when you're up in the morning, your spine depends on movement and gravity to start moistening up all those discs. So they're a little dry in the morning typically. So don't rush into it full barrel, work into it slow. I've been up for about an hour and a half, so I'm kind of more ready to go. Notice I'm coordinating breathing with all this. Now what I'm going to do is stay in this position, reach through. They call this thread the needle. Reach through. If you can touch your shoulder to the ground, go ahead. If you can't, don't force it. Turn your head and then return. So back and forth. If you're feeling a little weak in this arm, put more weight on this arm to help support the weight a little bit, and don't go as far. And then the other side. Next, we're going to try to open up the backs, the upper back and the shoulders a little bit, since I'll have the kettlebell over my head. I reach my arms out, pushing my hands in the ground, bringing my chest to the ground. As I do, I'm thinking of moving my shoulder blades apart. It's a subtle thing, it takes time to get, but when you get it, you can really feel it. Stretches right in those lats here. Big, big muscle in your back. It's connected to your shoulder. It can actually help strengthen your shoulder and keep it in place, but if it's all out of whack, it can also damage your shoulder. Next, we're going to get into upper back some more. One leg forward, the other knee behind you on the ground. Just reach up, turn, and then turn directly this way. You can reach with your arm. If your shoulder feels okay, you can even try to reach around your back. Notice my head is leading the movement. That's part of that. That's part of that reflexive stability, where your head and your vision is. It's tied in. A lot of reflexive stability is exactly about what we were showing last week. Remember the word? Starts with a B, balance, right? It's all tied in to that basic strength. So I'll just do one more here. You'll probably also feel it in your hips too if you're real tight in there. Couple more. Yeah, feeling good. Remember a couple weeks ago I showed you that standing hip flexor stretch? Well, another way to do it is on your knee. So this is the side I'm stretching, right? Because my knee is back on my left side. That's the arm I put up in the air. Now I got a stretch going from my fingertips down to my knee. Then what I do, just lean into it, inhale, stretch up and back. Just beware of this. Don't just arch in your back to do this. That's not doing anything. Matter of fact, it probably might even spasm your back. Think of yourself as one long plank, and you're just rocking into the motion and coming back. All right. You can even take your hand here. After you've done this for a while, you can turn and stretch this way too. That feels really good. You can drop your arm if it gets tired. Do another one. Remember, these are all about movement. We're not just holding a stretch. We're moving in and out of the stretch. And I can turn here. Feels good. So now I'm starting to really get warmed up in here. It's a warm day. I'm already kind of sweating. We're going to go here. drop my hips. Notice my legs are staying pretty strong. I'm not totally collapsed. I'm actually keeping strong. My butt is real tight right now. I look over one shoulder, over the other, and back. So again, we're using the head and vision, and yes, even in a way, balance, believe it or not. This also gets your calves warmed up and ready. And last, back to all fours again. This all four, they call the quadruped. There's a lot of great exercises to build that, get in touch with that X. You can find your weak points very quick, start shoring them up. What you're gonna do is extend your fingers as far forward as you can and the bottom of your foot back. So keep your head up and try not to twist and lift your leg too high. Just push straight back. Keep your shoulders strong and connected on this side, on the supporting arm, right? You can do up to 10 on each side. Push back. If you're feeling a little twingy in your back, keep your leg lower. Okay. So there. Feel ready to go. So this exercise I'm going to show you is part of what I've been doing. This is called a Turkish get-up. Strange old name. It's actually a very old exercise. There's a lot going on with this exercise. There's a lot of flexibility, a ton of shoulder strength and stabilizing that shoulder. Shoulder is your most flexible joint in your body, but it's also, because of that, it's also the weakest. That's why it gets injured a lot. You know, it gives up the range of motion for strength. You know, you always give to get something. So, let me make sure my pockets are empty. So this is not a instructional video for the Turkish get-up. This is just to show you what it is I'm doing. Later on, who knows, we might have instructional videos for Turkish get-up. If the demand is there, we might even have classes in the gym, including kettlebell stuff. But for now, just so you can see it, I'm gonna do on my right side 3, my left side 3, and we'll be done. So I'm gonna roll, pick it up. My shoulder is connected to my body. It's not all loose here. Move one. And you'll see why it's called the get-up. I just got up. Now, that's the first half. The second half is going back down again. Don't show us out for pieces of tree branches. That's one. Notice I'm taking my time with this. If I find a weak spot, I stay there for maybe a second longer. Also notice all the positions both shoulders have to be in. Uh-oh, there goes my water.
That's your water.
And one more on this side. Notice how I also keep my shoulder back and not forward here. My hand is right on top of my shoulder. The kettlebell's behind my arm.
How many pounds is that again?
It's what?
How many pounds? How many pounds are you?
35 pounds.
35 pounds. Okay.
This one. When I'm working more strength, I use 54 pounds.
And you do those you do that kettlebell exercise with 54 pounds too?
Yeah. Now, that's the right side. When you're working this reflexive stability stuff, as you move from right to left side, you'll see I'm a little out of breath, by the way, which this exercise does get your heart pumping. You'll notice the difference between right and left sides right away. You'll see which is weaker, which is stronger, which is rougher, which is smoother. It's a good way to gauge. And then you can spend more time on the rougher side, because being younger than you were last year is not just about looking jacked, right? You can go to Beachbody for that. There's a lot more to it than that. We want to feel great, move well, have a great life so we can do other stuff well. Turkish get up, left side. Now watch my wrist here. A lot of people will break their wrists like that. You see that, Johannes? The kettlebell, see how my wrist is back? You keep doing that, that's gonna mess with your wrist, and maybe even your shoulder. Squeeze the bell a little, get your wrist nice and vertical.
Your wrist has to be firm.
Yeah.
And you have to hold it firm.
Yeah.
And I see that you're very careful with doing this, especially when you're turning.
It's not a fast exercise. You shouldn't be doing this particular exercise fast. This is more what they call a grind exercise. Like I said, if you get to the weak spot, like maybe here, you spend an extra second or two here.
It seems there's a lot happening with your lower body also as you're moving down.
Oh yeah. Like here, I'm really working my upper back, keeping my chest open. I'm not all collapsed, right? Real tall posture. Is that 2 or is that 3?
I wasn't counting. Sorry.
I'll do one more.
I think it was 2.
I think it was.
I see we have Lindsay. Lindsay can tell us how many we did. We have Lindsay live. Lindsay, you can tell us if we did
Lindsay.
2. Thank you for tuning in.
I know someone out there is keeping track of these reps. That's what you get when you talk during exercise.
We know it's early in the morning, so thank you for tuning in.
Now here I could also just walk like this, but my shoulder's starting to get a little tired. So
show a wide view of what you're doing, Robert.
you got that?
Yeah. I should do one more.
Okay.
I should do one more to show them a wide view of how it looks like.
I'm gonna switch to the other side.
Okay.
Roll. Lift. This is a roll, really. Notice how I rolled up. I'm also on a little bit of a hill.
Right.
Notice every now and then I move my head. If my neck feels like it's becoming too connected to my shoulders, I use this to kind of disconnect a little bit.
Now, is this something that people that who should be doing this? Because it seems that there's a lot of things. You're very careful with the way you're moving your body and the way that you're positioning your body, going up and going down.
Good questions. Because there's so much to that particular exercise, I probably wouldn't start someone off with it right away. But if you watch that exercise, there's other exercises hidden in there. For instance, this part standing up. One of the exercises I will be doing later, you won't see it today, is a backwards lunge. Notice it's weighted on one side, so it'll look like this, right? I can even alternate legs. So I probably have somebody work on that. You want a couple more?
Yeah.
Notice I'm not leaning forward too much, but the kettlebell kind of helps keep me vertical.
So it looks like what you're doing is you're working your way, you're doing different pieces of it.
Yes.
To work your way up to the get up.
One of the most difficult parts is those first two parts. That's an exercise in itself. I would probably have someone do a session of just that, back and forth. So, connecting everything together on this, getting from here to here to here. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I see that.
Then back. That would be 1 rep. I might have them work up to 5 reps on each side with no rest, let's say.
Okay, so for those at home who are on Facebook Live thinking about how to work their way up to a Turkish get up, what you're recommending is that they do it in segments. If that's the first time they're doing it, they kind of build their muscles around their body.
And like I said, ask any questions. If you want to see much more instruction on how to progress to doing a full Turkish get up, we can certainly do videos on that. But if you don't let us know, we don't know if we need to do it or not. So please let us know. You can also, for some people, 35 pounds would maybe be too much. You could use a lighter weight. They make lighter kettlebells. Also, for some people, I wouldn't even use a weight at all. There's a good trick where you just balance a shoe on the fist and it keeps your arm in position and you got to go through the get up. Right then there, that'll start self-correcting things, just keeping that shoe on your fist. You can't let your arm, what they call tomahawk, can't be all over the place. It forces you to be reasonably precise. Some people I start off, I just do 2 or 3 sessions just that, with other exercises, but when we're learning to get up. I would probably work, I might have them learn, also because of the arm over the head, we might be working on presses. Notice I'm not arching my back a bunch here, I'm just staying real tall. And there's a fair amount going on with this one too, but again, these are reflex stability, that's kind of what we're going for. So you don't want to watch yourself in the mirror and get this down too much. You want your reflexes to kick in kind of automatically. So you want to know the basic things to do, but you don't want to overthink it either. Your body kind of knows what to do over time. Like here, I kind of got to tense this side to help push up the other side. And then I use, remember that lat muscle, to pull the kettlebell down with control, right? So I'm not just dropping it, I'm actually using my strength going up and down. You can do that with a lot of exercises. So there's a lot of parts to that get up. That rolling around I was doing in a warm-up, good warm-up for get-ups. Crawling certainly is good. And with this particular workout, this would be my first set. I would do 4 sets like that with 90 seconds rest. I'll do 3 on the right, 3 on the left, rest 90 seconds, repeat. Do that 4 times. Then I got another set of exercise, and I have a third. This has been the hard month. This is more of an endurance month, calorie burn month. Next month, when I get back from Japan, I'll be more strength and muscle oriented for 4 weeks. By then, it'll be the end of August, a little past August, and I will be doing, go back to body weight and see how everything feels. So, like I said, any questions, please don't hesitate to write in. We need to hear from you so we know what to put up. You might have tuned in on this and say, I don't want to see this. So let us know what you want to see, please. I'm going to finish my workout. Giannis, you have to go away now.
I'll have a good time in Japan. Send us videos.
I will. By the way, speaking of Japan, there's going to be some cool little, hopefully the videos will get through. I don't know if we'll do them live or we'll just post them. About jet lag and sleep and what I'm doing. I'm trying an interesting experiment. A little different than what you're used to, but you might find it interesting. I'm certainly going to. So, next time I see you, it will be from the land of the rising sun, on the other side of the world. If you're in Japan and watching this, maybe I'll run into you. By the way, let's you and I spend each day being younger than we were last year. Back to my get-ups. Hold it.